They've done it once. Can they do it again? Starting off on the defensive side, DRX, given all the conversations around compositions, rosters, they finally have settled in, and it seems to be working quite nicely.
And right away on this pistol round, you can see DRX very, very slow, controlled, trying to understand which style of Bilibili they're going to get, because these two teams are familiar with each other. They scrim a lot over in Pacific. And Bilibili can be a team that instantly can frustrate you with the pace that they throw at you, with the weapons they use, they choose.
It's just so difficult to prep against. We saw how it costs fits against NRG in the past. Can DRX handle it just a bit better? Slow start to the round. They're all leaning towards A. The turret, making sure there's no flame.
And despite DRX, or Bilibili getting forced back into this A site right now, DRX has done it with no util at all. Only the cycling of that Viper wall, and that denies so much info for Bilibili. They just walked past the one-way at the perfect time, took all that space, and it's caused 4 people to be over here. Rin, first target, and he knows now that it's going to be towards this C site. He saw the fade.
He's seeing all the rotations coming through for the defensive side. It's really just K-Knight who's waiting. As you see the dump of utility, the nanos, the nade on the other side, they're going to get vulnerable if they try to push through that smoke. They're going to walk right into Rin's crosshair. 28 HP still alive though. The spike hasn't made its way out. There are only 10 seconds left. The turret's going to provide a little bit of cover, but it's dropped. I don't know that they're going to make it out. It's going to be a flood out onto the site. And there are a couple of members already close by. YZ takes care of Buzz. I don't know that the spike is going to go down in time. Just barely does. But all of DRX drop.
And despite the early success, I would say, from DRX there, succumbing for yesterday. And now again, Bilibili. I mean, great job from them. By the way, that KJ, Molly, and the Viper Orb, full fuel for them to be able to keep that up.
To their success, so we'll see how things continue to play out. DRX not opting to buy very much into this. You got a Sheriff in the hands of RB, a Ghost for Stacks, and Mako, and then just Classics the rest of the way.
I like that from Zest, though, looking early to break the haunt. That gets thrown out from Bianc. Doesn't actually come in that direction, and now he just has to play for the space spot. He can get punished here if they just follow up. There's only one player nearby.
RB's coming by to help.
It's a good cross. You can't really push much more into that if you're Bilibili without extra support or util. Not knowing what could peek you from the C side either. There's a triple possible.
Here.
So many things to consider, but DRX taking the space that's been given to them, starting lean towards C, and look at Rin just on the other side of the smoke.
There, actually, the smoke that K-Knight is throwing down is a lot of a gap into that site. That's why DRX uses it to look to break mollies, but Rin is playing an off angle into his molly for it, so anybody who comes through is just going to get barrel stuff. That's really nicely done. Good details there from Bilibili.
It's so difficult. It's clean. You've got you've got nanos at your feet. You've got Viper spits too. You've got to try to funnel out with. It's so difficult.
Yeah, it's very basic, simple details here that lead to this. In terms of mistakes that he was making, but they're just the fundamentals coming through on that KJ. Phenomenal stuff from him.
Really nice opportunity here for BLG if they're able to convert this round to set up very nice financially. Once again, this triple push towards A main. A lot of presence here. Oh, this time there's a paranoia wrinkled in. They're going to push him right off that angle.
A lot of times this could force these attackers to go really, really fast into the C side or the B side, react into it.
Sure.
But Bilibili is trying to bait that sort of reaction out, and DRX is having none of it. Still wanting to go slow. Nanoswarm pop to try to break the alarm bot, but YZ is here to defend.
I mean, he's more than here. He's starting to push up a little bit forward, too. RB, are you aware that turret's going to help?
They've already broken all the KJ setup right now. Sure, the turret's on a cooldown, can come back at the end of the round, but alarm bot from RB pressured, and that's making Stacks have to spend prowlers on the other side of the map when they need him for this execute.
Once again, heading back towards C, they've only cleared one of the nanos, and there it is again. It's so difficult to get through this. Buzz is melted! No entry into the site! And then you've got the molly out from Yosemite. This is just so clean from Bilibili. DRX not finding any room to breathe, any space to work. And it's another disaster. One member on your team that's died. Rin is 9-0 right now. A clean bill of health for almost everyone else.
Fast push now for DRX on this eco. Remember, they lost that bonus, so huge cascade of rounds possible here from Bilibili. But taking this A control is normally a goal for a lot of teams very early, but I think that fear that it felt like they were playing with in the first 2 rounds, at least what they decided on for their own game plan, is limiting them in this access.
Oh, he's just so aggressive. There's not a lot of, oh, there was a little bit of help. I didn't see K-Knight there, but the Sheriffs from DRX keeping him down for now.
Now that's important here for Bianca to actually try to defend these weapons, and with that Viper wall up, he can do nothing for it. Just gonna try to use the timing right there to see if he can catch somebody going for it late.
He's got a haunt. I mean, still full utility.
There's a push coming from the door too, Yosemite.
They've got a
They're
nice,
gonna double peek.
Yep, they've got a nice pinch here. Only one weapon has been upgraded so far, and that instantly finds value, but the timing from Bianca's gorgeous! All 3 fall as BLG.
Huge. Because think about this on the other side. Bilibili is completely on the same page. You see Bianca getting these kills, but at the same time too, you had Yosemite coming in through the breakable door. Wisey's op coming online. Aggressive already against Buzz here.
He's so far ahead.
Should have heard the TP.
He's so far ahead. The Prowler in his face. He's got to try to get away. Manages to survive without taking any damages. You see a second one come through as he tucks behind, tries to land the shot, but Buzz from up top with the nade is just too much.
And important here, Rin does not have a second molly. Wants to use it to try to get Wisey in position.
He does have a lockdown though. And honestly, with the way he's been playing, he might be all right anyway. DRX still feeling some of the pressure. They've got what they wanted. They took down the op. They took down YZ. They want to flip the map.
And they do have Buzz as showstopper now. His rocket could help take a lot of space here, but with Yosemite and Bianca, needs to be well considered.
They've got to be careful though. I think if they push Yosemite here, there's not much room for him to help. He's got to play his life very dangerously, or he just pushes forward.
What?
Gets haunted and gets a kill onto Stacks.
C's comes in to delay as well, so DRX still not making their way into main. They're going into Rin.
Oh, right back into Rin, you're right. Rin finally dying at the hands of Buzz. The B side open, the spike planted, and DRX in control for what feels like the first time, really, all map. K-Knight pushing forward, Buzz with 3 on the round, looking for the 4th. Yosemite on the counter, though, as they're going to claw their way back into this thing. Mako's left alone in a 1v2. Has to make something happen in a situation like this. It's been dire, it's been ugly, and it's not getting any better. Yosemite gets a 3rd.
And then all of a sudden it turns so fast. They got the first kill on YZ. They got success in terms of map control. Just the final hurdle, they don't use that ult for so long, and that actually caused them to pivot into the B site where, again, you have players ready for it.
Precise, perfect, and honestly problematic for DRX. And all the questions about, well, maybe it was just, you know, whimsy, as you were saying against NRG. Can they do it here? You're right, Ball. They're showing a different flavor of Valorant towards DRX, and they don't like how it tastes.
No, in the first series against NRG, it was Judge. That was the story. It was like, oh my God, why is he just crazy with the Judge, tilting the other team? In their second series, not at all. There's very little elements of that in terms of the clutches. Sure, it was tilting, but that was it. Here comes Buzz.
Takes a different path, but YZ gets to kill himself. What the heck happened there? YZ already with 2. The spike out of reach. The round is done. I don't know how they get into this.
It's a nookie dodge up high. Buzz was so high too. Couldn't get a hold on that rocket.
YZ's gotten 3 on the round. Perhaps another ace on the cards. YZ with 4. The ace on the other side, and it delivers.
Thus far. If you wanted a bloodbath, you got it. This Lotus is looking phenomenal from Bilibili right now. Looking like nothing can stop them. Looking like...
What do DRX do from here? The buy is less than ideal. A Guardian and a Bulldog for Zest. And then just pistols. They have failed to find success with some of their ultimates. I think again about Buzz's previous round and how YZ got the best of him, but this time not the case.
They've gotten first kills on these eco rounds before, but nothing to be able to capitalize on anything here. YZ again falling, but this time the gun way deep, very safe. They're not going to be able to recover it. They're going to have to use what they have. And that's a lot of space, a lot of control. They're still behind the Viper wall, sure, but lockdown, there's tools here still. And RB potentially could get a really late lurk if they do opt to go into this A side.
I think the question too is how patient is Ren. As Bianc falls on the opposite side of the map, you feel the rotations having to come through. Knight's in a really good spot, and of course, K-Knight gets two. Repositioning on the third. Not able to land, but Yosemite does.
30 seconds
They've
left.
somehow gotten this back to a 2v2. I don't understand. I don't understand how they're gonna do it again.
Down A.
It just makes no sense.
And once again, DRX scratching their heads. 2 early kills. This is a knife the wall. He only has a sheriff. He has to die here. He already has his lockdown. So honestly, the Bilibili players might keep him alive.
That's just more fun.
Situation where people are still doubting Bilibili. Yes, they've only played against one team in NRG and got success against them. But here they are.
He's the one who has to figure out what the heck do they do in the face of this. They have 4 ultimates to work with this time. Maybe that's the key.
It's a tough decision too. Like at this point, you probably want to start thinking about a second timeout before this gets completely out of hand.
Is it not already? Because, I mean, if you invest that here, you're dry the rest of the map. Termi has already called one.
Face your fear!
Nightfall through, Buzz satcheling forward. They've created some space. What do they do with it? You see K-Knight is already ulted to join the defenses of Bilibili. They're already all here.
This might be the first plant of the game for DRX right now.
Yeah, you may be right. Or maybe the pistol where
Yeah, the pistol where they barely got it. Felt like the round was already over. This time, plenty of tools. The lockdown. They've got the pit too if they need to. Won't invest it here.
Note here, Bianc 1 point away from having the Nightfall. But Mako, from a distance, keeping them back. At least attempting to. YZ detained. He's got to take a step back. You see the pit now in play. K-Knight pushing forward, trying to find anything that he can claim. Really, nothing's going to be found, but they've bought enough time for him to get back online. Bianc's going to be on the tap. Stacks dropping him first. And nothing going to happen. I thought for a moment maybe they get to half and something happens, but DRX finally cauterized the bleeding and get it.
But in terms of the early success, being able to get on site, which is where they've struggled so much.
Yeah, I think the other thing we have to consider here is it was a different defensive setup from Rin. He didn't somehow, through to disaster, there's an opportunity to stabilize and convert. Or not. Rin is just on a heater, man.
He's been so good. They're going to try to go fast in it again. Nade lands on him, but this time he gets the early kill, so if he falls off,
Another molly kill.
both traded there.
They finally both fall, and this time the rotations are a little late, but it's not because they weren't proactive. It's because they're flanking through spawn.
I don't think that turret was up right now, so
don't
this
think
double
so
flank
either.
could be huge.
The Nightfall, funneling them right into BLG's lap once more. YZ with the showstopper connects onto Buzz. The 3K and the 8th for Bilibili.
It's perfect right away out of Bilibili. Those kills coming in from Rin. When you start to get that molly traded, yes, it's a 3v3 once you get the site, but that forces RB to come on over and give up the turret. Really push that knife in.
And the potential here for the twist of that to be their demise. A judge for Buzz this time around, and a heavy lean towards C once more.
And don't forget, because they won a round, they reset the loss bonus, so this becomes a very impactful round for DRX. They kind of have to win.
He's already gone his way out. The judge is not finding any value. Yosemite's staying alive long enough to drop that molly and getting a kill onto Mako. I mean, that was a little aggressive by Rin there. But a 3v3 for the rest of the round. 2 members still rotating over. Bianc in a bit of pressure.
Spike planted.
Double flank again through the door this time, and it comes really fast.
That
I don't
nade
think
is
RB
deep.
expected it.
No, he's so dead. But Zest on the counter, a 2v2. BLG trying to retake the site.
Oh, the satchel.
He's gotten his way through, and YZ with 3!
What is going on? Why is he just satcheled his own teammate there, gets up top, and gets the kills? The players who are still playing, and here again, 15 and 3, it's gotta be up there for another just disgusting game.
And you effectively create a high-low, and even then, you see it. YZ was fit to the size of BLG. That Slipper fitting quite nicely as they're up 8 rounds against DRX. A team that looked revitalized, a team that looked reinvigorated.
And they're getting so much value out of any of these A pushes. At this point, DRX has to start getting ready for dealing with the follow-up flanks that come despite getting some success on pushing into that C site. Finally, we're having some satchels early to try to break it. There, it broke both. Letting it stay alive for max damage. On the radius, and Wisely, we've seen this before. The turret did spoil the fun for him on this flank. The turret's down.
No way, no way.
What timing? Why is it that RB is the guy going so far here to break this door, knowing that he needs to keep that util up? It's like he's trying to make a play while the rest of them are following up behind his play, his idea. Door broken.
YZ, who's already found value on one, looking for the second, is beyond from the rest of BLG. Try to hold A, and my goodness, once more, nothing for RB to do.
Oh, and I really think that it's fitting because Bilibili is abusing
30 seconds left.
DRX's paranoia here
Enemy remaining.
in terms of what's starting to declare this game is over right now.
I mean, we're close with it. We're flirting with it for sure.
11-1 would just be disgusting. Would be our biggest half of this tournament.
Just one round. Really the only thing keeping Bilibili from a perfect half. Against DRX, no less. Again, I can't stress the importance of that. DRX looks so good. They went through the gauntlet that was Group D. And people thought, well, Bilibili, yeah, maybe they got the best of NRG, but surely they can't do it again, right?
Oh my goodness, they used the showstopper to clear mound and not to actually execute on the site. Oh, and it gets a kill anyways. That's not supposed to happen.
No.
Why is he again? He's gonna respond. Whoa.
Oh, that was a little aggressive. That was a little bold. Somehow stays alive. You see two haymakers shot out. BLG, the attempt at a knockout punch, and for DRX, the attempt to just get back into this thing to give themselves a fighting chance. DRX, a 5v2 to close out the half.
30 seconds left.
Surely it doesn't happen like this, right? Surely it doesn't happen like this. Bianca's already gotten two. YZ in a 1v3. Make that a 1v2. The timing is not great.
DRX, how do you get your mind right going into not only the next map, but the next half? This is just a stomp.
I mean, the next half.
Bilibili now on this attack side to close out, and they already got just an Omen TP across. That was silent. I don't think they heard it. I don't think they heard it.
They have no idea. Dude, K-Knight only finding one, but the damage is done.
And that's the problem with trying to slow walk, take that control as a defense. You don't end up hearing the TP. Either way, traded back, and they've actually got a really nice pinch here. That alarm bot still will be up from RB while they go for this push into it.
They've effectively funneled them into B. The thing is, there's really no contain
well, yeah, and
on the spawn side of
the
things.
A players are not reacting to this. They should either try to take control of A main or rotate back to start a pinch going, and the timing could not be worse.
I mean, Yosemite's going to pinch him behind him. They're going to try to funnel their way out through panel.
Big nade.
There's a lot of trouble here for DRX, as once again, they have no idea of what's waiting on the other side.
And the fact that it's been quiet their entire time signals to everybody else exactly what's going on. Nobody coming through heaven, nobody else through A main. Oh, maybe not. Mistake there from YZ.
Yeah, numbers still in favor of the attack side, though. Now we've equalized. Rain is weak, 37 HP. The spam out from Akko into the smokes. They're going to have to pop their way out because RB's already gotten it 3/4 of the way.
There. Not really putting the clues together. Even though that flank was just perfect by Yosemite. Now Bilibili down to pistols.
5 Bulldogs on the defensive side. Surely you favor DRX in this round. As Bilibili have gone exploring a little bit, a 1-3-1, and they fully make their way out. I mean, the spike is in the hands of YZ, and he satchels forward. He gets the spike down, and he somehow gets away.
Wow. And already success. He's gotten 2 orbs in this round. Bryn got the other one.
Hey,
and the plant.
You've got to be careful here. That nade is going to cause some problems, but oh, Buzz is just going to stick it. Never mind. He just holds it the whole way.
For them to close out this game, they win this anti-bonus. DRX, while they won't be out, you start to get those power ults. That becomes the win condition.
DRX just dumped so much utility towards A main there. to effectively draw a line in the sand and not let them through. And I like that they're keeping some of this space as well.
That spray, the jump spot, Mako confirms there's nothing actually through, which means Bilibili needs to go for a second approach here. Plan B, rotate back towards C.
Second to clear some of the util, yeah. It at least drops the alarm bot. The nano mid is still there.
And that makes it hard. You can't play passive on B anymore. They're still looking for this, spamming down.
I mean, they just invested a prowler towards mid because of that.
And that's 50 seconds. They've gotten almost all the really impactful util down from the KJ. With this smoke, they can continue to look for picks inside the C site. They don't have to commit through this.
He's far up here.
Here's the freeze.
Zez creeping forward. K-Knight there as well. You see it, just a little bit of geometry keeping the two players apart.
30 seconds
The
left.
timing on this is everything. That sees to swing out, but Zez somehow getting two. Seems like it might be bonus back, but Wisey with the counter punch. Yosemite with another in control for BLG.
Wisey got his nade back too, so allows for this plant to go in, but it's a safe plant. They cannot commit to playing post plant from Mound.
They may not want to. Buzz and Mako, what do you do? A divided attempt at taking the site back as they approach it from two fronts. Rin tucked in the corner. Do you check it? Yes, you do. Even crouch, nothing converted. Yosemite's gonna have to do it by himself. Let's get down to a 1v1. Time on Yosemite's side is Mako playing swing around the Rosie, trying to find the timing. No idea what's on the other side, and Mako reads it well.
Themselves start to have a half similar to Bilibili. And you don't get into that period where it starts to become thinking about these win conditions for Bilibili being easy to get, easy to achieve. No. Keeping them around for the next couple.
I mean, they're still intent on pushing a lot of this aggression towards A main.
Whoa. That's fast. Good reaction from Bilibili. Instantly just pushing on the other side while they lose the other two.
The paranoia
Big
and the
flash.
nade, it's so good! Why is he getting one with the ult? And now the Prowler to push them back even further.
This is the problem here. K-Knight doesn't have the smoke. They're going to try to push it again.
Trying to check both corners. And RB dismisses K-Knight. What else can they find? YZ and Bianchi here left in this 2v4. You see Buzz trying to satchel his way forward. YZ's gotten one, but it's been traded back. YZ by himself, having to reload and reposition with the Haunt in his lap, and the pressure overwhelming of three members of DRX facing you down on the other side.
No way.
A desperate attempt to try to land shots that should not be connecting, and they don't.
Keeping Bilibili away from that all-important match point. And again, we're now talking about 4 rounds. This is very much it. And DRX's approach here on this A side is so important, crucial for them to continue maintaining this when Bilibili wants to work the entirety of the map. We've seen it before. We saw it in the last round, them attempt that. And if they can get success in getting kills as well, that pushes Bilibili. A lot of times their reaction is super fast to try to maintain that advantage.
I mean, in a lot of ways, this feels somewhat reminiscent to what we saw in the first half in how the defense is playing it. They're so aggressive towards A main, and they put the onus on the attacking side to either, I mean, if you want to go C, sure, by all means, but you're going to have to deal with the Killjoy utility and the Viper utility, or you try to go mid and you risk getting pinched.
Big difference here. As they actually tried to pressure that Prowler, does not catch Mako. He's making noise anyways. They're going to try to fight for this. DRX sticking around.
This is big out for Mako. What a snap onto YZ.
A great protocol there. That nade clears the player's A main.
He was ahead of that. Stack still wise to it. Nicely handled. Aware of the threat, aware of the danger.
30 seconds left.
Do they funnel out behind that Molly? Buzz with the ult, and that connects onto Bianca. And that was the spike. The Buzz has been so crispy these last few rounds.
And that's it. Spike down across the way, past the wall.
10
You're right,
seconds
Buzz
left.
is stepping up. In the group stage, they didn't really need a massive performance out of Buzz, the one that we love, the one that we see all the time at these global events. There's really stacks, and there it is, timeout from Bilibili. Surprisingly, it's them using their second ahead of DRX here. DRX still has one. available.
We had questions around whether or not DRX would burn both in the first half.
Yeah, I thought they should have. It's constantly coming out from DRX, trying to punish it with a molly over top, nades going back, prowlers coming through. Remember, Mako and Buzz stayed for so long in that last round. If that util came through, then all of a sudden, you would have had something different. This time, you do have difference from DRX. And Bilibili pouncing immediately. They didn't see that. They only saw Paranoia. They didn't see a nade, anything else, no molly coming out from the side of Zest. So they just walk out. And there's 3 hero rifles here. Even a buy down to 600 from Rin. Whoa, all the way.
They've created so much space. Behind all that utility, look at everything gets dumped. The Nightfall, the pit.
Mako got traded too in door. He got a kill. And if he stayed alive there, all of a sudden you have a 3-way pinch and retake onto this pit, which is very devastating. But instead, you have control of door. It's planted for the spam. All they have to do is hold off RB.
RB's on the flank, and I don't know that the turret didn't see him.
He has a lockdown now too. Not one that you could really use effectively, but if he gets in this corner and posts it, you have to have a response from Bilibili.
I mean, there's nowhere else for Bilibili to
He put a
go.
lock
Oh,
on.
this is so well handled. Look at K-Knight, understanding the pressure, repositions, tries to find some space to work behind it, and he gets a kill onto RB. Buzz falls as well, but K-Knight not able to do anything more. Bianc and Stax in a 1v1. He's got to give up the space to see he's not going to connect. Stax has already gotten it to half. Pulls off, and it's
The Red Bull clutch. Look at this. Key moment there. K-Knight trying to break that lockdown, instead dueling with either side. Oh, look at this. Buzz not on this A side at all. Instead, DRX making it look like they're going for one of those setups. And he's on the C side. Switching that up could really make things dangerous for Bilibili if they go for any sort of C pressure.
For Bilibili, we mentioned that they had 3 rifles in the previous round. Because of how they managed their money, they still have enough to buy in the light armor on 4. We'll see what they can do with it. It was a costly investment in the previous round. They dumped, what, 2 ults into that? They still have the lockdown from Rin. And again, we're seeing some of the protocols that we've seen to open the round, the satchels to clear out the Killjoy utility. But this time, they're committing. They invest the lockdown, they dump the nade, but Buzz again!
The break that, yeah, broke it.
It was that easy!
Yeah, that's the reason Buzz is over here.
Not only does he clear out the lockdown, but he gets a kill with it.
Oh, he picked up the gun instead of the spike.
That's the wrong package. It's not what you were looking for. Kana, though, managing to avoid disaster, scooping up the spike. Now setting eyes forward.
Left.
See that satchel through. Bianca's gotten some space.
Great season. They've confirmed the hit is still going to be on the C side. Nobody tapping the door.
Buzz in a position to find more value. Just one daring to challenge across the corner, and it is YZ. Yosemite on the trade, 13 seconds left. The spike's still not planted, and DRX still clawing for control. There's no way K-Knight pulls this off, right? This would be a 1v3. Mako's going fast with it. Oh, he decides to take the fight, but there was still so much to do.
Right now, looking for the comeback of champs so far. From a 10-2 and them even better. That nade to break the lockdown, it's so good preemptively.
Oh, he's ahead of this. He's cheeky with it. Takes a good bit of damage though and stays alive.
And the moment you've been waiting for too from YZ, the judge is back in his hands. He's gonna get up close and personal.
No satchels left. 1 kill away, 1 orb away from having Showstopper online. As they dare to continue to challenge Buzz in that cross once more. And this time it's the second time he gets the kill. They did get the spike down. Mako expecting some of the pressure out from Rin on the flank. Reads him like a book.
This is still dangerous. Time is ticking right now.
3v5, what do they have to delay?
Can they get this gun? Yes.
That's big.
That's the second gun now being able to be picked up by Bianca, and YZ can get out.
It actually went into YZ's hands. But Zest has already gotten 3/4 of the way. There's nothing to stop him! 8 rounds in a row. Bilibili flirted with perfection in the first half. But DRX showing that they could do, at least for now, what Bilibili could not.
DRX.
To get so close,
Oh,
you
that
have no
nade.
shot, bro. You're so done. You're so done. If it was not the nade, it was going to be Stax. The ult comes through as well as they push their way forward. Mako with 2. Knight trying to take a step back, dancing around the Prowler, snaps onto Stax, well handled. But the thing is, through all of that chaos, once again, the dust settles, and BLG are down in numbers. It's perfect. It's quite literally perfect.
9 rounds now in a row. A fantastic comeback. Now they are in the lead, in the driving seat. Loss bonus. Which means always you're going to have a player who's low on money. Bulldog, Spectres here. And I like this. Continue to hit this B site. This is where the least amount of presence from DRX has been.
No shot, bro. There's just no way. The ult doesn't work. Follow-up from Rin doesn't either.
The second attempt at this site is something I like to see given success last time. But now that they get shut down here, now that DRX again ahead of that adaptation. Ahead of Bilibili. What do they choose to go for?
I mean, as soon as the door was tapped, you see RB start to take a step backwards. Realizing he's in a 1v3.
Bomb grenade out.
I mean, do they try to get challenge him much more? Yeah, he plays his life, and now Zest has shown up. Sax is not far behind either. They've gotten out onto the site, but they're going to be able to establish enough control to get the spike down? I don't think so.
That kill back allows them the space to recover the spike, though, especially with the nightfall, but there's somebody getting a little ahead of it.
And RB not giving up an inch, looking for the second. Beyond's there on the trade, but Buzz finishing.
Still it wasn't.
Yep.
But this is a comeback of the century. It's so beautiful to watch. DRX is ahead of every little step. They just need that last page from Bilibili.
And talk about forgetting about the past. They've done so masterfully. And they're now in a position where not only do they have the financial advantage, not only are they up 2 rounds, but they have so many ults they can play around too.
There.
This is what I was talking about, Bilibili. Really doing a great job of taking it to RB's setup so frequently. Only 1 molly broken this time. There's that smoke that allows them to threaten that they're walking in. Instead, they're going to go towards this A site. They are lining up the mollies. This is what I was talking about against Mako. He has TPs to get out of this situation, but Buzz is joining him, and he's getting really close.
He's ahead of this now. Oh my goodness, just barely spotted. The spam keeps him alive, and you're right.
TP.
Buzz is here.
Oh.
Just barely gets away. What do they do with this pressure, though? What do they do with this space? That Nightfall's going to get so much info. But BLG throwing the brakes on the round, pausing for just a moment.
Back to the B site. Pit going begin.
Allowing the Nightfall to subside, and they drop the pit of their own. DRX do is now they have B control. BLG, you've knocked on the first door, it doesn't open. Does the second?
Back to A, really? 14 seconds.
There's not enough time here. They've got to find success on this. The openers have to be clean. And Buzz, of course, it's Buzz who's here. And Mako with 3. The pit goes down. And so do BLG's hopes of winning.